I was first introduced to Douglas Sirk films in college, and and it was within a program at Brown University within the semiotics department that was a very theory based. He was discovered in this among by Godard and the auteurs, I mean by the Cahiers writers as an auteur, but he was sort of a second generation discovery, because during his lifetime, Cirque who was a European intellectual, had studied theater and Brecht and done very modernist theater productions, sometimes of classics that he would bring a certain style to. Ended up at Universal Studios in the 1950s and handed these ladies' home journal short stories to adapt into melodramas. So he ended up in the most unlikely place that you could imagine somebody from his background. He also is pretty much responsible for the discovery of Rock Hudson and Rock Hudson becoming a major success after The Magnificent Obsession, which was a film Cirque directed with him. And All That Heaven Allows sort of brought the same cast back from The Magnificent Obsession into a much more intimate story set in a small town about an older woman and a younger man relationship. And it is Cirque's own favorite of his films. And alongside Written on the Wind and Imitation of Life, All That Heaven Allows really stands as the three masterpieces of the domestic Technicolor melodrama. Films of such immaculate construction and complex storytelling that were critiques of the American middle class society, but done with the full body of the cinematic language and of color. Russell Meddy was the director of photography on all of those films. And they definitely had a relationship that was extremely close and they understood each other intensely.
Well, I guess this is goodbye. I wish you a lot of luck with your trees.
Remember the silver-tip spruce I was telling you about?
Yes?
I was wondering, if you're not too busy, you might like to come over to my place and see them.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I can't today.
Oh, well, of course, if you can't.
Oh, Mr. Kirby.
Yes, Mrs. Scott?
Well, I was just thinking that maybe if...
You've changed your mind? All right, let's go.
So the film really speaks for itself, but it was a film, among others, that Rainer Werner Fassbinder encountered in the early 70s. He was able to see a bunch of Douglas Sirk films, and they completely changed what Fassbinder's sort of idea of what cinema could be. He too was an intellectual, very political, coming out of 68, being formed very much by the culture of 1968 and politics. But when he saw these films, he felt that the melodrama spoke to the social conditions of people's lives in the most powerful way that more people could relate to than perhaps experiments in narrative that Godard was exploring in his political filmmaking. And from then on, Fassbinder really made melodrama the centerpiece of his filmmaking. It was all about a tenderness that he felt Cirque brought to his subjects, and a sadness and a sense that people couldn't change the conditions that they suffered under themselves, that the world had to change to make these people feel satisfied and happy. So Fassbinder adapted his own version of All That Heaven Allows and made one of his masterpieces, Ali Fear Eats the Soul, and set it in contemporary Germany in 74, I think. So in the context of being introduced to Cirque and being introduced to Fassbinder, this sort of lineage made a big impact on me. And I then decided finally to truly address the melodrama in my film, Far From Heaven, that is also that draws as well from a lot of the themes in All That Heaven Allows. So it's a film that is extremely influential.